Hi, I'm Mag, and if you came here by the title, you just got prank baited by a homeschooler. Get it? Because, like, being not a twin and being a homeschooler, I'd be the only one in my class, so obviously I'm the top of my class. And then again, that would also make me the bottom of my class, but we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about how I'm the top of the class, okay? So yes, if you watched my last video, then I said I would be talking about this hat again. And yeah, here we are. If you saw that, then yeah, we're talking about me graduating, which is like, you know, big life thing. So, complete change of hair, of course. You know, I kind of hope this hairstyle looks as good on me as I think it does, because it kind of gives me headaches, but I like doing it, so. And I'm not really sure what's going on here with the camera angle today, but I couldn't get it as high as I did last time, so I'm just laying on the bed here. Don't mind me. So yes, the point of this video is I graduated high school as a homeschooler, and that's pretty cool. So, you know, they asked me to say a word or two in church the other day about graduating and all, and I kind of had a meltdown in front of the entire church, which, great, but that's just how it goes, so, you know. Graduating is great and all, but this video is actually more for me to talk about being homeschooled. Hence the title, which probably made a lot of people dislike it already, which is kind of funny to me, but... So, yeah, we're just going to talk about how my homeschooling experience has gone. So I'm actually one of the very few homeschoolers who actually homeschooled all the way through. Like, I started in the 1st grade. I skipped kindergarten. Don't ask me how that's legal, but yeah, I did that. And I went all the way to the 12th grade, homeschooled. Entire time I've never been in a public school, which, you know, has its good sides and bad sides. So automatically, when I tell anybody that I'm homeschooled, or was homeschooled, then the automatic response is, ooh, I've always wanted to be homeschooled. I bet that's so cool. It must be so awesome to just stay at home and do your schoolwork there. And to that I'd just like to say, no. So I mean, setting your own schedule and doing schoolwork on your couch or your bed all the time, yeah, sure, that's all fun, but your social life is really lacking. And by really lacking, I mean non-existent. Completely. Okay, I'm not even exaggerating here. This is absolute truth. Unless you have some sort of other connection, like you do some sort of thing, you know, like clubs or, I don't know, ballet, sports, martial arts, stuff like that, you're probably not going to have any friends. Zero. Big goose egg. None. It's just, you can't make friends if you don't leave your house. It's just a bit hard. So, it took me about 12 years of school to make any friends. Until the last few months of school. Yeah, that's actually really sad. I have friends now. I just made them as soon as I graduated. No, but I'm sure you've heard a lot of homeschooler stereotypes over the years. Like, you know, they're all very shy and introverted and all that stuff. And I can say, yeah, I probably fit a lot of that. I'm really, really, really shy in person. Don't ask me why I'm so comfortable talking to a camera. Yeah, allow me to give you an example of just how horribly shy and socially awkward I am. The other day I was in a store and I knew this girl from like college. I'd seen her when I was on a campus tour there, and I knew her from Facebook and stuff. Anyways though, instead of being a normal person and going up to her and being like, hi, how you doing? You know, all that stuff, trying to talk and all. No, you want to know what I did? I ran away. I don't know why, I can't talk to people. It's really sad. I'm just hoping I can learn how to do better now. But homeschooling has taught me how to overshare with my problems on the internet to a bunch of strangers, so that's wonderful. But yes, if you are planning on asking your parents to homeschool you, or if you're some parent looking to homeschool your kids and you want them to have a nice, bubbly social life and all that stuff, I wouldn't really recommend it, but that's just up to you. I mean, you can raise your kids to be like me. I don't really recommend that, but you know. The academic spectrum of homeschooling though, you know, that's kind of hit or miss. You've got homeschoolers who overachieve and they're like really smart. And then you've got those who, yeah, they give homeschoolers a bad name. It's kind of sad. I would consider myself to be a pretty average academic-wise homeschooler. I may consider it differently once I get to college and all, but you know, we did some of the harder stuff at first. We went with Abeka. We did that for several years. That's like one of the top homeschooling programs for, like, it's a Christian group, but you know, it's really good. Like, I was learning some pretty deep stuff back then, and I really liked their program, but my siblings did not, so we ended up changing. Not sure that was really a good decision, but the only problem I have with homeschool academics is the fear of missing out, which, I mean, I guess that's normal. You have no idea what's going on in a public school if you've never been in one, so you don't know, you know, am I getting the same stuff as them? Am I getting more? Am I getting less? You just don't know. It's hard, so I've not really liked that part of homeschooling. That's always been one of my big fears. I'm just hoping I got what I need. So the next thing for me about being homeschooled was the cool schedule. So we could do this thing where we could get started really early on school some days, and then some days, you know, when we're not feeling as motivated, we can get started a little bit later and we still cram our work in and get it all done and just sit on the couch, you know? That's the good part about homeschooling, is it's just kind of chill and you can just, as long as you get your work done, you just, time doesn't really matter, the schedule does not, you know? I mean, you can do a little bit more work some days than others, and hey, I think it's a pretty good deal on that end. And you know, another thing about the academics of homeschool is you get to learn what you want to learn. So like public schools, they kind of have like their own schedule and ideas that they want to force on everybody, you know. I'm not really sure how it all works, but you can teach basically whatever you want. If you're religious, then you know that really works. Most people that are homeschooled are religious, so that works out for them. They can teach their religion and their schooling, and that's nice. You can learn basically what you want to learn as long as it, you know, applies with the homeschooling rules and all that. One thing that's a little bit annoying about homeschooling though is you can't really get much foreign language. I mean, you've got the options of Rosetta Stone or Duolingo or Babbel, I think's one. And the thing is, it's kind of hard to learn a language without a teacher for a language, so you don't really expect to pick up much on languages unless you're just like really smart and can actually understand how languages work and the grammar and all that. I can't really do that. I know words of languages, I just can't figure out how to piece sentences together. So that's kind of sad, but I'd like to learn languages and stuff. I think I'll get to do that in college, so that's a good thing, I guess. So you know how I said that I've never been in a public school a bit ago? Yeah, accidentally I just lied to you. I've completely forgot about like the 3 times I was in a public school. And that was 1 for driver's ed, 2 I took the SAT in a public school, and 3, this was actually not a public school, this was college. I went to a tour in a college, and you know, just to sit in on a class and all that, and yeah, there's some things I just gotta talk about that for a second. So when you think of school, usually you think of a desk. I don't know, not all homeschoolers seem to use desks. I mean, personally, I do most of my work on the couch or at a table, so desks have never really been a thing for me, and I don't seem to get along with them from the few experiences I've had with them. It's actually been pretty embarrassing. I've had stories of me falling into desks at public schools, and I'm sure everybody there was like, wow, what a moron. Yeah. I went to this campus tour, and I sat in on a class there. I sat through the lecture for about 30 minutes, and then I realized I was sitting in the desk completely wrong. I had it like sideways or something. Just homeschooler things, you know? Nobody else could do this except awkward homeschoolers like me, or just awkward people in general. Just me, you know? This is just me things. But yes, long story short, I do not get along with desks. So another concept that has confused most people about my being homeschooled is co-op. which I started going to a co-op, I think it was my first year of high school, so freshman year. And not everybody does one of these, but basically, I mean, it's optional. So what it is you get to get together and do your schooling in an actual organized fashion where you wake up early and all that stuff with a bunch of other homeschoolers in a room with like desks sometimes or tables. So, you know, like actual school. So I'm not really sure what the point of it is, but my parents put me in it so I could make friends, you know, because I'm a lonely little person. And I'm not sure that really worked out really well. I started to make friends the last few months, I think. So that's okay, you know, that's just how homeschoolers are, I think. We don't know how to talk to each other. We're shy, and yeah, usually we try to keep the homeschooledness on the down low. So unless we're actually put in a room together like that, then we're not gonna go and associate with each other that much. And even then, you know, we're not for social interaction. We're just not. It's actually kind of funny though, because as I started to get like involved with college groups and stuff, I learned that there was actually a lot more homeschoolers out there than I was expecting. So half the people that I've been talking to are actually homeschooled that are going to this college, which I was really surprised by. I mean, I was originally planning on just hiding the fact that I was homeschooled the entire time and hoping nobody would ever figure out, but then I ended up finding other homeschoolers, so hey, it works. But personally, you know, overall, if I had the chance to do it over, I might would have not considered going homeschooled. I mean, if I'd have known how sad and lonely I would have been all the time, I might would have asked my parents to put me in public school and all that, but you know, this was kind of like, our schools are kind of bad around here, they're not really the best, and then there's always the threat of school shootings and dangerous stuff in school, and you just don't want that, so my parents wanted to do this for me, and I feel like, you know, they knew what was best for me. But if I had the chance to do it over, would I have been a homeschooled kid if I'd have known it would have affected my social life so much? I don't know, but I think I have the chance to do that over in college, so that's just what I'm hoping for at the moment. I'll be talking more about college in another video at some point, because that's a whole different topic. It's gonna be long, you know, all that stuff. And I guess, you know, the #1 homeschooler's advice would come from the Animaniacs. Just, you know, this little bit right here.
Wheel of morality, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn. Moral number 2. And the moral of today's story is, if at first you don't succeed, blame it on your parents.
But yes, from a homeschooler to basically anybody else who has ever envied homeschoolers watching this video, you didn't miss out on much. You've probably got way more friends than me and have experienced far much more than me in life. But, you know, this is just my life.